And Peter and Andre are in the building because we've sellotaped the windows. Yeah. Plus, our dinner lady, Susan Forshaw, gets a trip of a lifetime as she pilots a blimp across Florida. But it's time now for my next guest. Now, he's descended from one of Glasgow's finest ice cream making families, and he got his big break in the classic film Local Hero. These days, he's the foul-mouthed spin doctor Malcolm Tucker in the cult series The Thick of It. The big screen version, In the Loop, opens tomorrow night. Will you please welcome Mr. Peter Capaldi? Let me hear you. Think about the heat to start with.
What are you doing?
I'm all right, kid.
I'm not used to it. You have to look after me.
Are you a chat show virgin?
No, I've been on a chat show once in Northern Ireland about 15 years ago.
Well, this isn't a chat show, don't worry about it, honest. Just look at it as if we're sat in my back kitchen, chatting away. Do you remember when you did Prime Suspect?
Yeah.
And you were incredible in that, seriously.
Oh, thank you very much.
Absolutely. I was up for that job till you came along.
Were you really? Do they know what that is? What that job was?
You were playing a tranny, weren't you, in a nightclub?
I played a transvestite called Vera.
That's right, yeah.
Who Helen Mirren interviewed because Vera held the clues to the murder of the young rent boy. Yeah. And Vera was the most decent character.
Vera was the most honourable person, exactly.
Were you up for that as well?
I was up for that.
And did you hold a bitter kind of resentment towards me then for getting it?
No, I sat and watched it, my arms folded, steaming. And thought, God, you were incredible. You were absolute, because you brought to it a tenderness that I could never have found.
Oh, I don't know. You might have done. The corset was tough, I remember. I couldn't sit down with the corset I had to
You had to do Marlene Dietrich, and it was shot in Madame Jojo's, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. We also shot a lot of it in Liverpool as well.
Oh, really?
So it would have been handy.
It would, obviously. You did me out of a job there, Peter. But you were, seriously, I ain't giving you a fan. You were stunning in that.
Thank you very much. That's really kind of you.
You were totally believable. Totally believable.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Now, the latest project you're involved with.
Yes, In the Loop.
In the Loop.
Yeah.
Were you worried about going from television to film? Because sometimes it doesn't work, does it?
Well, you've always got that sort of fear that it's going to be, you know, on the buses goes to Benidorm. Yeah. You know, and you get like mutiny on the buses kind of thing. We didn't sort of want to do that. In a sense, we did, because what we did was we took the thick of it and made it go to Washington. Yeah. But the canvas that we're playing it on is much, much bigger. What happens is there's a minister, played by Tom Hollander here, who's wonderful,
he is.
who says the wrong thing.
He's hopeless, isn't he?
Well, he's a wonderful actor, but he's a hopeless minister. And what happens is that he unexpectedly, what he says gets used to kind of drive Britain into joining America in a war in the Middle East, which nobody wants. Yeah. So we suspect. Yeah. But then we go over to America and discover that there are people there who want it. So no matter how he twists and turns, you know, he can't stop this progress to war. But actually, it's really, really funny. Yeah. That makes it sound like a very dark thing. It's not. It's intelligent and it's sharp.
Bittersweet.
It's bittersweet and very, very funny.
Now, Malcolm, is he based on Alistair Campbell, who was Tony Blair's sidekick?
Well, everybody says that he's based on Alistair Campbell, but that's not true, because remember, we started this about 4 years ago. And really just Armando Iannucci, who's the sort of presiding genius behind the show, very, very clever. He just sort of said, let's do a spin doctor. And you had to look at Alistair Campbell because he was one of the top spin doctors. But there was also Peter Mandelson as Bernard Ingham, who was Margaret Thatcher's old spin doctor. In fact, it goes all the way back, you know, to Henry VIII, you know, and to Machiavelli. There were always guys like this doing the rounds, you know. So it was a little kind of, I think Alistair's self-publicising a little bit to claim that he's the
What do you think of these spin doctors? I wouldn't trust them as far as I could chuck them.
I wouldn't, no. I think it's quite a sort of repellent kind of line to be in, because basically you're bad-mouthing people. But the thing is, every time one comes to the surface, we then have a situation where people say, well, we're going to get rid of them all. And I was told that they didn't exist, that they'd gone, that Alistair was the last of them, really.
Oh, really?
But clearly there are other, you know, mushrooms in there.
Lurking in shadows, I imagine them.
And they're all over the place. They're not just, you know, in one party.
Do you enjoy playing Malcolm?
I love it.
I was going to say it must be a hoot, because he's up constantly, isn't he? And the language.
The language is absolutely foul, but also the lines he has are absolutely brilliant, and that's because there's about 5 writers, you know, who sit there and absolutely work out these fantastic insults. And all I've got to do is deliver them reasonably accurately, but they're brilliant lines. They're the kind of lines you wished you'd said.
Exactly at the time, Do you know when you filmed this? I read this in the paper. You film it twice, so you film each scene 2 ways. What happens is we get this script which has been highly polished and highly worked on, and we have to deliver a sort of word-perfect version of that. And then immediately, as soon as we've done that,
Amanda says, well, now we're going to shoot a version with your own words.
So you ad-lib?
So we just ad-lib the whole scene. And the way things built, the cameras have to follow us around. It's not like usually when you're filming and, you know, you have to follow the cameras. So if I choose to walk out the room, the cameras have to, I can hear them running after me. So it's great. It's very liberating and very freedom-making. But also it's quite, it frightens the actors. So a lot of the time you see the fear in our eyes is the real thing.
Now, do you know the scene that you did with James Gandolfini?
Gandolfini, yeah.
That's it, isn't it? From
another Italian, from The Sopranos.
Thank you. The brain's still like lodged somewhere in Kenya, a piece of it. Was that ad-libbed? Because that's like bang, 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 bang.
Well, that's the sort of conjuring trick that we do. We try to make it look as if it's ad-libbed, but it's not. I mean, that was very heavily written. Yeah. But where it comes from is we did a lot of rehearsals with James, and he and I would just, you know, start shouting at each other and start noising each other up.
Bert, we got a trailer, please. Put it on then.
You may have heard him say that, but he did not say that, and that is a fact.
I apologise for Malcolm. Don't apologise for me. Apologise for yourself.
Is war unforeseeable, Minister?
To walk the road of peace, sometimes we need to be ready to climb the mountain of conflict.
Climb the mountain of conflict? You're talking about Nazi Julie Andrews.
You might be a scary little poodle back in London, but here you're nothing.
It's that fabulous trick, this, you know, wasn't it? I mean, there was one in The Guardian, he said it was funnier than Spinal Tap.
Yeah, well, that's saying something. I love Spinal Tap.
Do you know now it's gone to the big screen? Does this mean the end of the series?
No, we're actually going to start next week. We start working on the new series. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen in that. I won't discover that until we sit down and look at the script, which is happening next week. And we're going to do 8 episodes this year. It goes straight to BBC Two. So there's going to be a lot of colourful stuff there, because also I suspect this will probably be the last time we see these characters. You know,
do you know the film's timely because you're dealing with politicians watching adult movies?
Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, because Tom has a line where he's actually in a hotel and he has to watch a shark documentary because he daren't put on an adult porno and gets discovered. And it comes up in his expenses. And of course, when that happened in the film, I got a huge round of applause.
It does. Yeah. Now, your next job sees you behind the camera.
Yeah.
Do you like doing that?
I occasionally do it, as we'll get into. I haven't done it for quite a long time. I know Joe Brand and Joe Scanlon, who's in the thick of it, and Vicky Pepperdine are 3 actresses who wrote a piece about the NHS, about a geriatric ward. Yeah. And I said, who can we get to direct this? And they asked me to do it. And it was a great job because it was all old ladies, gentle old lady extras who were all fabulous. Those 3 girls who are fabulously funny actresses. Jo, who you know, who's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, I love her.
And we wanted to get away from this idea of just portraying little old ladies as lovely old things. We've got one kind of...
are they?
No, we've got one lady who comes in who's more foul-mouthed than Malcolm Tucker. You know, and is extremely violent, and Joe's left to deal with her because there's no one else. Because apparently in NHS now you're not allowed to touch a patient.
No, or call them lovey or dear or anything like
so you've
that.
Got to keep away from them. Yeah. And of course, in our program, Joe is going back into the NHS after having been away for 15 years. So she sees a lot of changes. Yeah. So she can't understand not being able to handle this person. But she said it took her right back to her days as a psychiatric nurse. And of course, having her on the set was fantastic because she had a genuine knowledge of these matters. I think they've done brilliantly. I mean, I really look forward to it coming out.
I look forward to seeing. Now, you've won an Oscar, haven't you?
Many years ago.
1995.
1995. You've done your research. It always confuses people because I won an Oscar
fabulous
for... Oh, it was brilliant. It was just so brilliant. It was such a surprise as well. What it was, I've always been interested in directing occasionally, so I directed a little short film, and I got Richard E. Grant very kindly agreed to come and be in it, and the people who put up the money put it in for the Oscars. I didn't know you got Oscars for short films, but you do, and we did, and we went, and we won. And I couldn't believe it. And you got to go through the whole number. There's a picture of us there. Get up on stage, do the whole thing. And they treat you just like you've won the Oscar for Best Movie or Best Act. But the funny thing is, they take you backstage and there's like a conveyor belt of stuff you've got to go through. It's the stuff you see when you turn on in the morning, you know. And I got backstage, and I'd gone from this high, this elation of getting this Oscar, to going backstage, and the world's press was gathered in a big hangar. And the woman said to me, you've got to get up on stage there, and they all talk to you. And I said, they're not going to want to talk to me because nobody's heard of me. So you've got to go up there. And I went up on the stage and I went, hello, Peter Capaldi, France short film for France Gives Us a Wonderful Life. They want to talk to me.
What you do?
Up like that, but that's the way my career's been.
Just want to die, just want to crawl off.
Just crawl off the stage. But it was brilliant. I mean, it was just such a
must be.
Oh, it's like sex. As I remember it.
I've seen it at the Oscar. Where'd you keep it, Peter? The Oscar,
on my mantle.
On the mantelpiece.
Yes. My wife hangs jewellery on it.
Do you know when people come to you, like, do you position it? I would.
No.
I'd have it on the step.
No, I never show them. I think it confuses them.
I'd wear it, actually, if it was me. I'd have it strapped to me head like a hat.
It's very heavy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's quite...
What are they made of?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know, blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah, tell them, mate. Listen, good luck within the loop, Peter, and thanks for coming on the show.
It's a
real pleasure to meet you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Capaldi, come on.
Thank you.
You should have brought your Oscar. Hasn't died, and we've lost the gold.